Thank you, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. The first game of the new domestic season is a time for optimism. It is a time for hope, for dreams and for belief. But for two teams under new management, there is only cautious optimism right now. Sheffield Wednesday had a summer of turmoil after dramatically winning at Wembley. Southampton's summer break came after a nightmare Premier League season that ended in relegation. Two historic clubs that believe they are still punching way below their weight. But there is an expectation that the two new gaffers can offer a little bit of confidence. Xisco Munoz has the best win percentage of any championship manager in the last decade. Russell Martin is a highly thought of coach with a style that is pleasing on the eye. His biggest problem is knowing which of his players will still be around by the time we get to the start of September. But right now he does have James Ward-Prowse in his team, which is a bonus, especially at this level. Cameron Dawson is the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. Iorfa, Famuo and Ihekwe are expected to be the back three. Patterson and Delgado the wing backs. Bannon, Baconson and Volks in midfield. Windass and Gregory up front. Bazunu is the goalkeeper for Southampton. Underperformed last season in the Premier League on his XG by 20 goals last season, the worst record of any Premier League goalkeeper. Walker Peters, Bednarak, Stevens and Manning the back four. And in midfield, Will Smallborn, Ward-Prowse and Alcaraz. Edozie, Armstrong and Teller up top. The referee, Bobby Madley, blows his whistle to signify the end of a minute's applause. There's no VAR in the EFL Championship. You wonder if he's going to see his cards close to his chest or whether we're going to see an explosion of those over the course of the next 90 minutes. A grueling 46 games over 274 days for 49 weeks. It takes you through the height of the summer, the golden autumn, the dark nights of winter, and hopefully to a bright and energetic spring. This is the Championship. This is talksport, where every game matters. And we start with Sheffield Wednesday in blue and white stripes, blue shorts, blue socks, and Southampton Football Club in red and white hard jerseys, attacking the goal away to our right hand side. The noise is deafening, the stadium almost full, and we are underway live on talksport in the company of the former Charlton, Chelsea, West Ham United left-back Scott Minto and former Republic of Ireland boss Mick McCarthy, who have both experienced promotion from this division. How important is the start, Mick?
Very important. I mean, for both teams, one's come up, one's come down. They both want to start the season well. I mean, Southampton even more because they want to get points on the table. Sheffield Wednesday, it's their home game. Good start for them will set them up for the season.
Cameron Bazunu takes the ball to the perimeter of his penalty area in a multicoloured goalkeeping jersey before it's shoved down into midfield, collected by Smallbone, who plays it out towards the right, and Carl Walker-Peters, who's dyed his hair blue ahead of the start of the season, which is odd for a Southampton player. He takes it infield. He's about 15 yards inside opposition territory, wide on the right hand side, looking to just nudge it out to Nathan Teller, who's had such a brilliant time in the Championship recently. And then Will Volks feels he was fouled inside his own half and clears the ball up over the halfway line. Southampton, who will use the ball and will make sure that they play with a progressive possession-based style. One of the problems Swansea had, Scott Minto, last season was opening up defensive teams, and Sheffield Wednesday were very good defensively last season.
No, that's absolutely right, and as Mick was just pointing out to me there, it's a back four for Sheffield Wednesday, yeah. So it's very interesting how they're kind of setting up now, not necessarily what we would think, and Southampton will have possession, and even though Sheffield Wednesday are playing at home, they'll be quite happy and comfortable just to sit back and let them have the balls, make sure they can't break them down, cannot afford to go down 1-0 at home, and they were so good last season in League One, weren't they, here? So, you know, as we always say almost in every game, the first goal is very, very important. It really sets the tone psychologically.
Akim Famuo is playing as the left-sided defender on this near side, although it's very right balanced, doesn't it? It edges over towards that far side. And Delgado playing as a right winger, has played as a right winger for Pacos de Ferreira in Portuguese football, and as a right back and a left back as well. Ball played forward by Carl Walker-Peters. Interception is by Dominic Iorfa on the edge of his own penalty area. Sheffield Wednesday get it back to their goalkeeper, and it's launched high into the evening sky. The pitch looks in good condition. It's been bright sunshine in Sheffield today. Bednarak's got a bit of a problem. He's gone down under pressure inside the right of the centre circle. And it's going to be a free kick to Southampton, I think, just over the halfway line. Bednarak now slowly getting back to his feet and having a word with Bobby Madley. Maybe it'll be an uncontested drop ball. Didn't seem to be too much in that.
No, I think he just literally went up for the header and fell down awkwardly on his back, and that's why it was painful. It wasn't as if it was an elbow or anything.
0-0 the score. You're listening to talksport live at Hillsborough on this Friday night, the first Friday night of the brand new season. Ball picked up by Bednarak, who has been given it from uncontested drop ball in from Carl Walker-Peters. Is a loose pass by Jack Stevens, who was on loan at Bournemouth last season, into the path of Josh Windass, who got that all-important goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Scampers down the left touchline, deep into opposition territory, then checks back and gives it to Akinfenwa, and then it's played all the way back towards Dominic Iorfa, and then edged to Cameron Dawson inside his own half. A little bit dicey because Southampton put on the high press, and as a result of that, a loose ball is given away, but Bannon has won it back, and he's taken it beyond Smallbone, moving through the Southampton half of the field, and sends it out wide towards the right. The cross comes in from Patterson, in towards Gregory, did connect with it. Windass has got it now, edge of the area is Bannon, deflection comes back to Windass again, he breaks loose on the edge of the area, another shot scrambled away, Gregory turns, fires it, blocked by Stevens, and over the top by Patterson, and it swirls out towards his near side, and goes out for a corner kick down away to our left-hand side. A thrilling piece of play, all action and all the pressure coming from Sheffield Wednesday in a matter of seconds, Nick McCarthy.
Yeah, well, it's amazing because Sheffield Wednesday had a real bad passage of play with the ball there and gave it away to Southampton, who then regained it and gave it back to Sheffield Wednesday, and of course it's Barry Bannon that set the chance up. And what I really liked is when they got wide, they've got two strikers in the box and they put a cross in, and it was they've had 3 or 4 chances from that, and none of them could just get a real good contact on it. But interesting, Sheffield Wednesday are sitting back 4-4-1-1, going to sit them on, they're playing narrow, making them trying to play wide. And of course, what I will be interested in, get the ball to Nathan Teller up against the fullback will be very interesting. Akinfenwa.
Well, Southampton looked a little bit shaky in their pre-season friendlies playing out from the back, Scott, but they looked a little bit shaky there trying to defend that all-out attack from Sheffield Wednesday. Here is Adam Armstrong down the right for Southampton, trying to squeeze the ball into the box. It's stopped and cleared away by Heckway, and up over the halfway line it goes, and eventually all the way to Bazunu in the Southampton goal.
Yeah, look, you know what you're going to get with the Russell Martin side. He's going to be wanting passing out, but if you're going to give the ball away, and I'm fascinated to see how Barry Bannon's going to do this season in the Championship. He was absolutely brilliant in League One last season for Wednesday. In fact, he's been brilliant for the last 5 seasons. He's topped the charts in almost everything. But if you give him that type of chance, he can counter-attack very quickly. And as Mick said, got the ball wide, got 2 people in there, and 4 or 5 chances. In the end, Southampton actually defended pretty decently.
It's 4-4-1-1 from Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it? With Bannon playing as the sort of almost number 10 behind the lead striker, which is Lee Gregory. Here on the right side, the ball is with Nathan Teller for Southampton. We've played just over 6 minutes. You listen to TalkSport. It is 0-0. The ball played wide now and sent out from Manning towards the edge of the penalty area. A little skip by Edozie, trying to get the cross in from the byline. The challenge comes in from Delgado, and it's squeezed behind and away for the first corner of the game, and it goes Southampton's way. And he did some damage in the Premier League from set pieces, did James Ward-Prowse. You imagine he'll be in a bit of a danger in the Championship too, Nick.
Always. He's devastating his deliveries.
Ball in towards that near post. It's attacked by the Sheffield Wednesday defence. It missed everybody in red. Back in by Teller, loops into the air, drops inside the penalty area, then comes back out towards this right-hand side. Centred towards the far side, and eventually it's cleared away. And then picked up now down the left-hand side by Ward-Prowse, trying to get the ball into the box, and then eventually the ball breaks towards the far side, and Southampton have got it back again. Edozie sends it long and into the path of James Ward-Prowse. Across comes Patterson and puts it out of play.
Sam, that's always going to be the problem. They've no outball Sheffield Wednesday when they're all back there. They've got to either run it out, they've got nobody up front that can give it to and make it stick. And maybe Southampton can press them high up the pitch.
Here on the right side is Carl Walker-Peters. He's got support from Teller, edge of the area, right side, left-footed shot towards the far corner, and it's a brilliant goal for Southampton. And Nathan Teller, who was a star in the Championship for Burnley last season, has got off to a blinding start for Southampton. Getting the ball on the edge of the area, there was far too much space. He curled it left-footed, out of the reach of the goalkeeper, and put Southampton into a stunning lead.
Well, he's just carried on his brilliant Championship form, hasn't he? I mean, haven't seen much of him in the first 5 or so minutes, but this is what he's capable of. He takes the ball and he goes onto his left foot. He's outside the box, but he still is able to just really get a good strike in. One touch, bang! Keeper has no chance, and he's passed a couple of players as well. And by the time he's seen it, Cameron Dawson is not able to get anywhere near it. A left strike in the side netting, a wonder strike it really is. I have to say, it's come out from nowhere, really.
Well, he picked that up, didn't he, on the right angle of penalty area. There was too much room for him to shift it onto his left. He just had the opportunity to arc it, and he did. Outside the post and then back into a corner, and there was no way the goalkeeper was getting hold of that, mate.
Well, I'm glad I name-checked him about 5 minutes ago, but I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought he might have got up and give the left-back Akinfenwa a bit of a trouble getting at it, but it was fabulous. I think the fact that somebody they got an overlap as well, and the two Sheffield Wednesday players couldn't get close enough to him. Fabulous finish though. Whatever else happened, it was a wonderful goal.
It was a really good goal from Nathan Teller, who had 22 Championship goal involvements last season at Burnley. Such a brilliant spell on loan there last campaign, and he's got off and running in this Championship campaign with the first goal of the season after just 8 minutes. This is talksport live at Hillsborough on the first Friday night of the season, and Southampton already lead by 1-0, relegated from the Premier League last season. Here is Carl Walker-Peters down the right, played in by Teller, into the box, tries to get to the byline, steps back on his left foot, produced across to the far post. Alcaraz was coming in underneath it, punched away eventually by Dawson and out towards the far side. It's out for a throw-in on the halfway line. It's been a helter-skelter start to the Championship season. 2 months since the end of the last campaign. Sheffield Wednesday's aims will be staying in the Championship, and they didn't have much time to prepare for promotion. Saints knew a long way out that they would be facing the drop, and they knew that in Nathan Teller they had someone who had great experiences in the Championship, and he started as he means to go on. Here is Jack Stevens, a little bit loose, but he gets away with it, comes towards the edge of the box, and the shot's fired in towards Ward-Prowse, and eventually it comes back to him, and he fires a shot goal. Was it saved by Cameron Dawson? It was Ryan Manning on the edge of the penalty who had the initial effort, then deflected into the path of Ward-Prowse, and it was saved by Dawson.
Well, Sam, if Sheffield Wednesday don't start pressing higher up the pitch and getting close to them, it could be high score this, because they just can't get out of their half, and it's really how Southampton are just going to play all the time, and Sheffield Wednesday can't get out of it. They're losing it now. I mean, that was the left back that was in their box shooting just then. Ryan Manning, they'll get murdered if they carry on like this.
The high press actually was the moment that Sheffield Wednesday had the best joy from, because there was a little bit of looseness inside their own half. It spilt nicely for Barry Bannon, and he could get them on the attack, but since then it's been one-way traffic, Scott.
You need to be able to retain possession and be able to play 1 or 2 touch football at times to try and beat the press. If you haven't got the confidence to do that, then certainly the Southampton side will be all over them. That's what's happening with Sheffield Wednesday at the moment.
Carl Walker-Peters, who not so long ago was in the England squad, plays it down the right hand side into James Ward-Prowse. A little flick and a trick from Nathan Teller. He ends up on the floor. It was Akinfenwa who nudged him to the ground. There's an accusation of an elbow there. Both linesman and referee were there to see it on hand, and they've just ignored it and allowed play to continue. He's off the field anyway, is Nathan Teller, the goal scorer. The ball's run loose inside the centre circle, and Will Smallbone has got it once again for Southampton. We played just a little over 12 minutes. You're listening to talksport live at Hillsborough on Friday night. James Ward-Prowse is not going to kick it out of play. He's having attention now from the physios on this near touch line, and Southampton encouraged to play on. He's trying to slow the game down because he knows that they're a man light at this moment in time, but Southampton do have possession. Wednesday haven't had the best of pre-seasons. They failed to win any of their last 5 warm-up games. And this is where the business starts, and they're already 1-0 down. Walker-Peters sending it to the right. Teller, who's just come back onto the pitch, into Armstrong. A little Croy turn, comes back to Teller, edge of the area. He challenges, the ball spills into the air. Patterson brings it clear, tries to get it upfield. And again, that high press turns the ball over quickly, and Southampton are back on the charge. Midway inside Sheffield Wednesday territory. Dead centre, it's Carl Walker-Peters. A little pass into Armstrong. And then a floaty ball towards the far post looking for Edozie. Headed away by Iorfa. And then Bannon brings it down, smacks it to halfway, but there's still no outball.
He needs to be able to get on the ball, Barry Bannon, and then have the ability to look up and play in Lee Gregory. Lee Gregory's sort of dropping off because he's trying to help his team out. But he's just got to try and stay up there. As Mick was absolutely spot on in terms of there's no outball at the moment. You need to be able to get on the ball, play that little pass, and then look for Lee Gregory to play him in. And at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday aren't doing that. And because Southampton have scored that first goal now, they can completely impose the tempo of the game, which is just what they want to do.
Well, Southampton have been juggling a rebuild throughout the course of the season, the pre-season, but it hasn't looked like that so far. Here is Ward-Prowse down the right-hand side, hooks the ball first time into the penalty area from the right-wing position, headed away by Orfer again, taken down by Smallbone. He's about 3 yards outside the area, right side. Southampton playing with tempo, speed, and a bit of a swagger in the early stages here in the Championship. It's 1-0 to the visitors. Russell Martin, dressed in black, is down in front of us in the technical area, just gesticulating, moving his pieces around on the chessboard, trying to encourage his team to keep playing their football. Alcaraz, Manning, then back in field to Jack Stevens, and Southampton continuing to hold Sheffield Wednesday at arm's length in the early exchanges. It's quite demoralising for Sheffield Wednesday when you're watching the ball almost like you're on a carousel, watching everybody else having fun and you're trying to chase your tail.
Sam, I'm just going to say that it's the last thing that they wanted for the first game. So look at the crowd, we've got a wonderful crowd in here. They're demoralised already, they're starting to get a bit anxious and moaning, and they're just keeping the ball unless they can get into what you want in a championship game is get stuck into Southampton when they come, and I know they're going to pass it, but they've no chance now. And if they keep getting the ball, if they get the next goal, this could be a right field goal. It's looking like it.
James Ward-Prowse, right angle of the penalty, attacking the goal away to our right, towards Edozie, comes back out as far as Manning. His shot takes a deflection, Teller's going in on the goalkeeper, it's going to bobble up into his arm. And Cameron Dawson, last year's number 1 goalkeeper, who started 27 of the final 31 games, smothers the ball into his chest, his bright green goalkeeping outfit, and just takes a breath, Scott.
And that's what they have to do. Looking up now, and you can see that Southampton, they're ready to pounce. So Cameron Dawson's not actually playing the ball out. Now he's going to kick the ball up the pitch, and then it's 50-50. But actually, maybe just for a moment, you just need to get the ball territorially in the other half and then see if you can play from there. But Southampton winning the ball back now, and then this is where Sheffield Wednesday now, with Bazuna having the ball, they should try and press high and just see what Southampton, how much they can handle it. Because, as Mick was saying, the crowd are quiet. They want to get behind the team, but they're just quiet.
I don't think Sheffield Wednesday have got the legs to press like that, have they, with Gregory and Bannon?
Well, you know, when he kicked it there, Dawson, if you're going to kick it, set yourself up to kick it. Don't get them up and they're not. Get your centre forwards up there, get your wing backs up there, or your full backs up. Try and press it and try and get it dropped in the middle of the field so you can win it back.
Teller, he's got it right side. A good switch ball from Stevens out from left side to right. They're inside the Sheffield Wednesday half again. They're moving up towards the edge of the area. Right-footed ball which is flashed through the face of the penalty box. And in the edge of the 6, the ball is hooked away by Michael Ihekwe. And it goes out and away for the second corner of the game for James Ward-Prowse to swing one in. And just when you think, this team, they're great in possession, they can carve you open, all right, keep them at bay, give them a set piece. Oh, that's James Ward-Prowse taking that. They've got weapons everywhere. Here is James Ward-Prowse, right-footed, arcing it away from goal towards the penalty spot, flicked away by Gregory, and then it'll be picked up just short of the halfway line by Carl Walker-Peters. Manning sends it forward, Edozie takes it on, he's being harassed by Vauxx from behind. Vauxx gives away the free kick, he's not happy about it, referee says play on. He did have a big bellow at the referee there, Bobby Madley, Will Vauxx, but he didn't take any action.
Interesting. How long do those rules last?
16 minutes 42 seconds. This is talksport. Thank you very much for choosing us this Friday night. We appreciate it. What a morning it was this morning. You're probably still reeling from the Gareth Southgate, Jim White, Stuart Pearce interview. If you didn't hear it, download our app. You can go back and you can Listen again. Here's Bakerson playing the ball forward down towards the right-hand side. It's picked up by Patterson, who's come forward from right back, sends a cross in. It's cleared away by Stevens and goes back to the other side. But Sheffield Wednesday do have the ball in Southampton territory, and that makes a change. Delgado back to the right side. Bannon's got it tight to the touchline. Further on to Patterson, a chance to cross. He does just that. Stevens stoops and heads the ball away to the left full-back position. Manning feels he was tripped, but Bannon's got it back again, and he's got it all the way back to his goalkeeper. And Sheffield Wednesday have at least got possession, even though they're trailing by a goal to nil.
Do you know what, Sam? You're right. At least they were playing in Southampton's half, but that's 2 times now Callum Patterson had the chance to put a decent ball in and didn't beat the first man either time. When you're under the cosh, under pressure, not able to really create an attack, when you get into a good position, you have to put quality ball in.
Just right at the centre circle, Southampton have won it in tight areas. They pop the ball around between Smallbone, Stevens and then Manning, and then Smallbone with his bald head and shirt untucked to the waist strides forward towards the edge of the centre circle, pokes it out towards the wide right. It goes infield to Carl Walker-Peters as they emerge up the pitch again. Southampton dominant so far in the game. Manning drifting into midfield. Alcaraz pops it off to Stevens. Back to Alcaraz once again. Again, Sheffield Wednesday looking dizzied by the prospects of Southampton keeping the ball and moving it at tempo as they edge towards the edge of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Out comes Ihekwe to try and challenge. Bakinson comes across and puts a little foot in on Carl Walker-Peters. It goes back towards the other side, and now Stevens has it. Travels forward, plays it left. Manning up to Alcaraz, straight out wide to Edozie. Edozie back infield, it goes to Manning, and then again Stevens has it once more. Sheffield Wednesday, who had a habit of making fast starts last season under their previous manager, have conceded a goal early on tonight, and it has just changed the mood inside Hillsborough. Here's Bednarek, the Pole, another one who's been touted for a move during the course of the transfer window, and all of that sort of rebuilding and discussions about where people would end up going so far hasn't really materialised. Lavia is still around. Livramento has gone to Newcastle United. We'll see what happens with the others. Here's Edozie skipping into the penalty area down the left-hand side. Overran it as he went past Callum Patterson on that occasion, and it goes out of play and away. For a goal kick away to our right-hand side, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1 on talksport, live in the Championship where every match matters. And here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton in full control, and you know, you sort of talk about Pep Guardiola's right backs, or even Trent sort of going into midfield. That's what Carl Walker-Peters is doing, but also Ryan Manning, the left back, is doing it as well. So sometimes they only need the 2 centre halves to pick up Lee Gregory, and just it's so difficult to pick up and mark.
Gregory has won the knockdown, and it's come back to Windus on the edge of the area. Gregory's turn, shot, takes a cannon off Stevens, comes back to Bannon. He tries to help it wide. Delgado's going to try and reach for it, but the ball just went narrowly out of play. It was just a little bit heavy from Barry Bannon as it ran down towards the byline. And Southampton have got it back again, but that's what they've got to do. They've got to use the physical presence they've got of Gregory to try and get the ball up the pitch and hold on to it.
Yeah, when they get it up there, they're looking to get the chance off very quickly. I mean, I think it's the way, not the way forward for the play. Barry Bannon is going balmy out there. He's trying to get them up the pitch so he can get a bit more of a press on. But on the other side of that is they don't want to concede again. If they can keep it at this, they might nick a goal. But the way for them, looking at it, it is up to Gregory, get up behind it, and then try and keep hold of it and get a chance out of it. At the minute, they're giving it back far too quickly. But Barry Bannon is doing his head in up serious. He's just trying to get his teammates up behind him.
Well, they were the third top scorers in League One last season, and they did concede the third fewest goals. They do have a goal threat, but do they have a goal threat in the Championship, or is it as powerful in the Championship as it was in League One last season? They've got the ball now on the edge of their own penalty area. 18-yard line is where Cameron Dawson was operating. He's played it to Iorfa and then back out wide to Patterson. Back infield it goes, and this is Michael Ihekwe. He was back to start the last few matches of last season, including the playoff final after a long time out with a knee injury. And they play it out towards the left, and then as it comes back in field, it's given away. Smallbone has won it once again for Southampton, and they've got possession just in front of the centre circle. Left to Manning, back to Smallbone, back to Manning again, and they're just keeping the ball in triangles on the halfway line. Not much of a press going on even in that zone of the pitch. And Sheffield Wednesday rather deep and having to face yet another succession of Southampton passes.
Yeah, Barry Bannon's wanting to try and push on, and it is a balance between, not wanting to keep yourself open, but actually they need to somehow put Southampton under pressure at the moment. And you're right when you're saying about Lee Gregory and Bannon perhaps not quite the most athletic anymore, but the first few yards are in the head, so you don't actually have to be chasing tails the whole time. But at the moment they're sitting back, they're letting Southampton control it. Both full-backs are going into midfield, and they just can't pick them up.
Teller trying to spin the ball into the path of Armstrong. It comes off the defender Hekwe and it's cleared upfield, but it comes back to Alcaraz, who takes on a couple of players, right-footed, sends the ball towards the far corner, and Dawson goes down, and it just whizzes past the post, and there is a little bit of fear amongst that Sheffield Wednesday defence. No one really wanted to engage with Carlos Alcaraz, and he spun away from two defenders, got his shot off and almost scored.
Yeah, the problem is that when they win it back, Southampton is so far up the pitch. Sheffield Wednesday haven't got the confidence, they don't have the ability to be able to play through them like Southampton are doing. And this is only going to cause more and more problems. If Southampton keep winning so far up the pitch, they will score again. Real difficult evening for Sheffield Wednesday. They've got to try and keep this certainly to half-time. Who knows if they can change it at half-time, but they've got to keep this. Don't concede another.
Listen to the crowd. That was because they lost the ball again before they got to the halfway line.
But actually, Sam, they were trying to not just knock it long. So even when they're trying to do the right thing, they're looking up. The options aren't there, so they're running with it. They're getting pressed. They're winning the ball back, Southampton, and the crowd are not happy, and you understand why. But at the moment, Southampton are absolutely dominating this game. And yeah, a second goal for them, you almost think it's game over.
Everyone except the goalkeeper, Southampton players, are in the Sheffield Wednesday half. And the keeper's halfway up, he's almost there as well.
Josh Windass has just gone sliding in on Carl Walker-Peters, and Bobby Madley has given a free kick to Southampton. It is a good 13 yards back from the edge of the penalty area on the right hand side, and Bobby Madley just saying, come in field a little bit, you can move that. Ryan Manning standing over it, but I'm sure that James Ward-Prowse is going to be the one to take it. Southampton have had 81% possession in the game so far. We've played 25 minutes.
I tell you what as well, you're right, they pass, and then they get a free kick, and you see one of the best set-piece specialists in the country about to take it.
Yeah. There's no respite, is there? Coming up to 25 minutes, Southampton lead by a goal to nil. That goal coming from Nathan Taylor after 8 minutes, but James Ward-Prowse and Manning standing over it. It's Ward-Prowse who spins it towards the edge of the six. It's headed away by Patterson, drops for Alcaraz. He takes it down, brings it into the box, goes past one defender, lays it through the 6-yard box again. It's stabbed away by Gregory helping out his defence, and it's out for another corner to Southampton over on the far side. It's their third of the game. It's been a blistering start to the evening on talksport. Over on talksport 2 there is live Super League rugby, and there's loads of live sport over the course of the weekend. Currently Castlefield Tigers 0, Huddersfield Giants 10, Warrington 0, Catalan Dragons 6, Wigan Warriors are 6-0 up on Hull KR. Southampton 1-0 up here. Ball sent in by Ward-Prowse, punched away by Dawson, back out to Edozie, whose volley from the edge of the penalty area on the left side was never really going to trouble Dawson. Alcaraz getting a little bit spicy with the Hekwe, and the referee wants a word with him. And that just came about from the corner kick. He's in a confrontation with Will Vaulks as well, who's had a bit to say to the referee once or twice already in this game.
Well, there should be more than them having a confrontation with the Southampton players. They're getting passed off the park at the minute. They need somebody to have a confrontation. They need something to change the direction of this game, because it's all Southampton at the moment.
Damiwo out towards the near side. Windass is playing wide tonight on this left-hand side. He scored that 120th minute diving header to seal a place in the championship for Sheffield Wednesday. And they've just played out from the back here successfully, and they're moving up towards the halfway line just to add a little bit of confidence to proceedings here and change the mood slightly, because there's a little bit of concern amongst the Sheffield Wednesday supporters after what's been rather chastening 27 minutes. Iorfa has it inside his own half. He plays it back to Dawson, and then he in turn plays it wide towards the left-hand side, where Ihekwe tries to get to the halfway line. Armstrong thought he'd robbed him of it and was hoping to turn it over. The referee blew the whistle and there's going to be a free kick. Is that going to be a yellow card for kicking the ball away? Yes, it is. It's our first one of the night, won't be our last.
That was unnecessary, wasn't it? No need for that at all. Just a frustration. You shouldn't be frustrated when you're 1-0 up and in complete control.
It's dissent, isn't it? They just disagree with the referee's decision to kick the ball away.
Heckway forward up towards Gregory, who didn't have eyes for the ball, but it was Windus who didn't have eyes for the ball at all. Bednarak gets the header away, and a foul is given against Gregory, who is clattered into Teller on this near side. He now might be another one who's going to get a yellow card here. He's gone into the notebook.
Yeah, but that's the Southampton players have done and got him booked. He wasn't going to book him, the referee, I don't think. And it was a foul. He didn't kick the ball away. It wasn't dissent.
Mick's not having it.
Good job, Mick's not down that dugout.
Oh, I'd be really upset by that, player and manager. I don't think it was a foul. The players have got him booked.
28 gone. 1-0 to Southampton, relegated from the Premier League after a dismal season. Goals were a real problem for Saints last campaign. It remains to be seen if they have the players that can be more reliable in the Championship. You'd expect Teller to do just that. He certainly is starting in the right vein of form. Alcaraz, who did have decent records. Adams and Armstrong have got decent records at Championship level, so there are players that Southampton possess that in this division may well end up having the firepower to mount a challenge to return straight back to the Premier League. Russell Martin's only ever finished as high as 10th in the Championship in his 5 years as a manager, and that was last season with Swansea. Ward-Prowse turns after getting beyond the midfield and then having to check back towards the right channel. He looks up, he's got Teller out wide on the right and Walker-Peters too. Walker-Peters infield to Teller now. They're midway inside Sheffield Wednesday territory and in pursuit of their second goal of the night. They lead by that Nathan Teller strike to nil. Bednarak travels up towards the midpoint of the centre circle, lays it off to Stevens and Southampton. Then with Manning, swirl it down the left and Patterson came out of his slot. Edozie comes infield behind Patterson, tries to get the shot away, can't do so. Patterson recovers well, but he just got drawn out there, Patterson. The ball was lifted over his head and Edozie got away from him, and now he's wriggling away from his grasp and Patterson drags him to the floor. He wasn't getting the help he wanted from Delgado, and now he's going to get a yellow card. It's a free kick right on the edge of the box.
Yeah, they're trying to get out, aren't they, Sheffield Wednesday? They know what we'll have to do, they're just not able to do it. They're trying to pass out, but the Southampton press is so good, they're not letting them come out at all.
The second goal, Mick, looks inevitable here, doesn't it?
Without a doubt, it's looked like that for a long time, ever since they scored the first, but Sheffield Wednesday holding out. So I would say, though, Southampton have had no gilt-edged chances since they scored. They've kept the ball, they've looked nice and neat, they've got a few crossing free kicks in, but they've had no real gilt-edged chance. Not that I can remember anyway, Scott.
No, the possession and the control and the tempo of the game, they've been in complete control, but in terms of open, clear-cut chances, it's not really happened. But, you know, this is a good opportunity for someone like James Ward-Prowse.
That was an issue, wasn't it, when Russell Martin was in charge of Swansea? You know, they had all the possession in the world, they had some of the best stats in the world, but the goals that they scored were few and far between when it came to playing a team that employed a low block or were difficult to break down.
Sometimes though, Sam, when you play that possession game, it opens up later in the last 10-15 minutes because you've tired the opposition out. So you have to be patient in that way, but yes, they still didn't create the chances that perhaps now Southampton at a high level in the Championship will be able to do.
James Ward-Prowse standing over the free kick, which is wide on the left-hand side. There's a four-man wall. He hits it right-footed straight into that wall. It spirals into the air. It bounces on the edge of the D, and then it's hacked away by Famiwo up towards the centre circle, taken down by Carl Walker-Peters and run out towards the right-hand side. He's beaten Gregory and he's got space now. Armstrong wants it played infield. He gets it, holds it, but he's tackled by Volks. It comes back out to Walker-Peters, who's wrestling with Famiwo. He wins that battle and then plays a cross-field ball, but it was aimless, and Manning dabs it down into the feet of Alcaraz, and the Argentine has possession. Southampton have possession, and again, you know, they've got half out there, Sheffield Wednesday, but they're a little bit like a prisoner that's trying to escape. They just cannot get beyond the perimeter of the prison, can they? They keep getting dragged back in.
Sam, they're all back in their half. I'm saying there's only Gavin Bazzuno that is in the Southampton half. Everybody's up there. Well, the centre half is still back in there, but they are so penned in that they have to be brilliant to play their way out. So I think even if it gets back to the keeper, the chances that they've had is when they've played it up the field, got it on the centre forward to Gregory and got up behind it. At the moment, I think the crowd has stuck with them so far. We haven't lost them yet, but if it carries on like this, I think it's going to be a tough night for them.
They're stunned though, aren't they? They're not 100% behind them because of what they're seeing. They want to get behind them, but they're not quite able to. They certainly don't want to turn on them.
Edozie puts on the afterburners and gets beyond Patterson, drives the ball into the box, tries to pull it back. He doesn't reach his intended target. There's a foul there by Bednarek, and a free kick is going to go against him because he was a little bit too physical with Lee Gregory, and it's going to be a free kick midway inside Sheffield Wednesday territory. Bannon wants to move it quickly. He sends it long down towards the right-hand side, but he rushed it. And there was no need to rush that.
But what's the point? He's up there on his own. If the keeper should come and take it, go and put it in their box and try and make them defend. I know it's a long ball, but try and give them something to have to defend against. Not that they've given the ball back. They're now about another 5 minutes without touching it.
That's pure frustration from Barry Bannon, who's been obviously is their most technical player.
Oh, Armstrong, brilliant. Tries to take the ball from behind and then send it through the middle of the park. Didn't quite work out for him on that occasion. It's spilt. And Sheffield Wednesday looks a functional attempt. Delgado on the turn, swings it down the right. Here comes Patterson, whose cross is deep towards the far post. He's looking for Gregory, but it's headed away by Teller. Bounces on the edge of the box, comes back towards Bakinson. His effort towards the far corner isn't too far away. He's 30 yards from goal and tried to loop the ball towards the far corner beyond Bazzuno, who was scrambling in the end. He thought that may well be a problem for them. They kick it long, Southampton, right down the middle of the pitch. Teller is chasing. And Dawson gets there first, and Sheffield Wednesday have it back again. But it's been all action, despite the fact that Southampton have dominated possession. That's another good chance for Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday have actually looked the most dangerous when they've exploited the space in behind Ryan Manning. You know, both Walker-Peters and Manning are looking to get forward, but you know, Walker-Peters gets back in position quickly, or certainly has cover, whereas down the other side, Ryan Manning doesn't seem to have that cover, so Patterson is able to really bomb on. He must have had 4 or 5 opportunities to go wide and put a good cross in.
Here comes Gregory trying to get down the right channel. He gets there ahead of Manning this time, who scurries back and smacks it clear. It goes out for a throw over on the far side, and all of a sudden there's a bit more enthusiasm amongst the Sheffield Wednesday support as the ball's thrown in by Patterson back towards the halfway line. 1-0 the score to Southampton against Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship on the opening night of the season, on the radio station that brings you more matches than anybody else. Remember, tomorrow Adrian will be at Watford as they start against Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship. Terrific coverage throughout the day and the return of the addictive Game Day Live. All the goals as they go in. And on Sunday it's manic. You'll need the app for 4 live games from the Championship and the Community Shield. And next week, of course, the Premier League is back Friday night. Burnley against Manchester City. Saturday lunchtime, Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. And then we are go. We're off and underway once again.
Is Mick flying in from Portugal again for one of those games, like he has tonight?
I can manage that, I'm sure.
Live right now over on talksport 2, Warrington Wolves against the Catalan Dragons. In that game, with the Catalans leading by 10 points to nothing. Castleford Tigers 10 down against the Huddersfield Giants, and Wigan Warriors lead Hull KR by 10 points to nothing. It's in Super League, and the Super League is ongoing with Mark Wilson and Paul Cook right now over on talksport 2. Here, live on talksport, we've got 10 minutes before half-time and Southampton are in control. Teller down the right-hand side into the penalty area he goes. James Ward-Prowse with the cross towards Armstrong, flicked away by Heckway, comes back out to Manning, edge of the area, miscontrolled it, and now there's a chance to break, and the ball's been picked up and they're trying to run it clear. It never really quite worked for Delgado, and that's going to be another yellow card, and this time it's going to Ryan Manning.
He didn't need to make that challenge either. There must have been about 5 Southampton players and only 2 Sheffield Wednesday ones. Just have a little bit of composure there. And now he's got a yellow card. And I can tell you, when you're a defender on a yellow card, you've just got to be careful of any misplaced tackle, clearance, lack of concentration for the rest of the game.
Especially as the best attacks have come down that side as well, down his side. If he has to make a rash tackle.
Free kick then to Sheffield Wednesday. They're in the centre circle just in front of the halfway line, trailing by 1-0, and having spent most of the time of this first half inside their own half. The ball is sent towards the far stick. Ihekwe rose but apparently committed a foul, and Bobby Madley has penalised him, and the free kick is given to Southampton on the edge of their own penalty area. When you get those free kicks in those areas, Scott, you've got to make the most of them, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, especially when you're under pressure, you're under the cosh, you're not able to create too many chances, hardly even able to get in the opposition half. So when you get in those positions, whether it be set pieces or open play, and we talked about Callum Patterson having a lot of space down the right hand side at times, you have to make sure it goes in with quality.
Talksport live on a Friday night. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1 in the EFL Sky Bet Championship. We've got more games than anybody else across the whole of the station, but nobody else has got access to the EFL like we've got access to the EFL. And home of the EFL is Talksport. Here on the left hand side, Manning on that booking now, plays it infield to James Ward-Prowse. Is this his last game in the Southampton shirt, or will he be there in midweek for the game away at Gillingham, or next weekend's game with Norwich City at home at St Mary's? He has the ball and plays it square. Infield it goes from Carl Walker-Peters to Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz is gesticulating, pointing to the other side of the pitch, but he's gone to Teller instead, and Teller now on the right angle of the penalty area gives it to Carl Walker-Peters, who sends the ball into the box, headed away by Patterson, and then it goes out to the far side, and Ludozi, who's immediately chased by the Scotsman, and he smuggles the ball high into the evening sky and out to the north stand and away for a throw.
The thing is, with the way they're defending Sheffield Wednesday, they're sitting back, the low block now as they call it, it is hard to play through, and Southampton have all the possession, but they're not getting any chances. They find it really difficult to break them down.
Carl Walker-Peters into Armstrong towards James Ward-Prowse, and then he's a little bit of congestion on the edge of the box, stops it from being able to be an attack that is pieced together with any real fluidity. And Sheffield Wednesday bring the ball away. Bakinson out towards the far side, travels to the perimeter of the pitch, and then plays it infield to Delgado. Did well actually to hold on to it. I think the supporters inside the stand thought he was running down a cul-de-sac, and then he managed to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
No, he did really well because he's in his own half. He doesn't want to just knock it long without even knowing where his striker's going to be. So he tried to keep it, and it's got to the point where just keeping the ball and just passing it back gets a little round of applause from the Sheffield Wednesday fans. They're desperate to get behind the team, but it's been difficult to do tonight.
Ihekwe giving the ball away cheaply, and Teller was there snaffling it up immediately, and Southampton have done that so brilliantly over the course of the evening so far. They snaffled up possession quickly, they've made sure that they very quickly have turned the ball over whenever they've lost it, and they've made good use of it. How difficult is it, Nick, if you're the side that are defending this? How tiring is it? It saps you, doesn't it?
It does so. Saps you mentally more than anything else, because they're not physically chasing everything, they're sitting back in. But Southampton are killed. They know that Dominic Iorfa and Michael Ihekwe can't really pass it out of the back. He's making it really difficult for them, so they're quite happy to go and press them. But it's not physical, it's mental. It wears you out thinking, I can't get my foot on the ball. When I do get it, I can't make a pass. I can't get close to him. I want to make a tackle. It's demoralising when this is happening.
Here they come again. Manning delivers the ball towards the far post, but it's not a great delivery, and it's easily plucked out of the sky by Callum Dawson. 76% ball possession in the 41 minutes that we've had so far. 8 shots on goal, 3 on target for Southampton, just the 3 shots off target from Sheffield Wednesday. Did have a flurry of opportunities really early in the game. Expected goals total thus far 0.42 for Southampton, 0.39 for Sheffield Wednesday. Just shows you how difficult that chance was for Nathan Teller to squeeze into the far corner. Southampton have the ball inside their own half. We're listening to TalkSport live on this Friday night, and Kazunu plays it out towards the wide right, and then there's a late tackle by Windus on Carl Walker-Peters, an unnecessary challenge. It's going to be a free kick in the right full-back position, and Bobby Madley's just having a word with Josh Windus. 250th appearance in English football, the Wembley hero.
It's going to be interesting to see what Xisco Munoz does at half-time in terms of whether he changes any personnel, but if he's going to try and look at a positive, as Mick's been saying, that one goal came out of almost nothing, and for all the domination in terms of possession and territory that Southampton have had, they haven't had many clear-cut chances. So that's something which you can sort of think, and while they're only 1-0 down, they're always in with a chance, with a mistake, a worldie themselves, or a set piece, something like that. So still in the game here Wednesday.
I think Russell Martin will be a little bit disappointed, Mick, that they haven't got a second goal.
Yes, I just don't think they've had that real cutting edge. They've got up to the 18-yard box again here.
Teller gets it onto his left foot, drills it towards the far corner again. This time, no curl, just power, and it was tipped over the top via either a deflection or a little touch from Dawson. A corner has been given after consultation between Bobby Madley and his assistant on this near side. The bench is not happy. Cisco Munoz and his assistants, he's actually assisted by his brother Miguel, having a word with the fourth official down in front of us, who is Josh Smith. Quick corner, taken on the far side. Dozy wanders into the penalty area. Bednarek move back heel, comes to Stevens inside the area, smuggles it goal, was cleared off the line by Patterson. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant from Callum Patterson. The free kick eventually being given after another little melee after that, but Callum Patterson getting back on the line has just saved Sheffield Wednesday from conceding a second goal.
Brilliant defending, it really was, just reading the situation. It's gone past Dawson, who's completely beaten. The right place, right time. And we talked about that second goal, and can Wednesday come back from 2-0 down right on half time as well. I think that would have been so demoralising for the home side. Brilliant defending.
I was on the commentator's curse there, just saying they were being ruthless and then got a cutting edge, and then Teller has one tipped over the bar and everyone saved on the line. But good defending.
Good defending from Sheffield Wednesday, an excellent awareness from Callum Patterson, who got back behind his goalkeeper to stop a certain goal. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes are added on at the end of this first 45. We have had 4 yellow cards in the first half, and the big scoreboard on the corner of the Leppings Lane end and this main stand has made a mistake though. It seems to have awarded the goal to Adam Armstrong. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. It was Nathan Teller who drilled it in from the left hand side. Adam Armstrong did get 3 goals in 39 last season, but has always done well in the Championship, but he hasn't got off to a scoring start yet. Here is Ward-Prowse down the right hand side, finding Teller, who moves up towards the edge of the penalty area. Walker-Peters looks full of confidence at this level and is ready to take players on. It's given to Teller, back to Ward-Prowse, and then infield to Smallbone. And again, they just retreat slightly, Southampton, before looking at where the best use of the ball can be found. Alcaraz.
It's difficult to break down, isn't it? The amount of numbers that Sheffield Wednesday have got. When they get into that final third, when you've got 10 players behind the ball, and you've only got a third of the pitch to try and create little 1-2s.
And that's what they have to create, because they get it in wide areas and they look up and they've got 2 big centre halves in Iwiko and Dominic Iorfa. And I don't think they believe they've got any chance of going in there and beating him. And in fact, they're not going to do it. They're more likely to have the ball cut back or cross low and hard. But it is really hard to score when they've got all 11 players back in that final third.
What they've got as well, Sam, is Sheffield Wednesday almost playing in between the lines of the 18-yard box. So to go wide, do the overlaps, as Mick says, get to the byline and cut the ball back. And once defenders are facing their own goal, very difficult though when those balls are coming in.
That was a foul by Delgado over on the far side, tripping Dozy, who's gone down. It's going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area and a yellow card for Delgado. And I must admit, they look stubborn, they look rigid, they look obdurate, Sheffield Wednesday. They did do very well in terms of defensive situations last season. Was there any contact on Delgado here? He comes from on El Dozy. I think there was. He just sort of seemed to plant his foot down the back of his Achilles, and the free kick has been given. There are 6 minutes of added time, plus whatever else Bobby Madley adds on. So by the time we get to half time, it may well nearly be 8:55, something like that.
If he didn't catch him, Sam, he's got an awful limp, let me tell you.
Just as well I'm going home with Adrian tonight as well. Yeah. No trains at this time by the time we leave Hillsborough.
Free kick, James Ward-Prowse to take it. He's just a couple of steps back from the area. Now he's already had a free kick from this same situation, so he's had a sighter and he's got his eye in. He hit the wall the first time, and he's just picked the ball up and rubbed it against his jersey once again, and then put it back down again to try and get it in that perfect position where he can hit the nozzle. He steps up, right-footed, it's over the wall, in towards the near corner. It's stopped by Dawson this time. He moved his feet well towards his near post and patted it down. Accurate, but not able to beat the goalkeeper from that sort of range. Needed probably a little bit more velocity on it if he was going to do that.
I think it was just a bit too wide, wasn't it? You know, to be able to get the ball up and over and beat the goalkeeper, who shouldn't be beaten on the near post as well. Just perhaps would have been better to whip the ball across the box.
He's got a big wall as Jensen as well. He had the centre-backs, didn't he? Iofa and the Rickway, I think, and Bakinson in there. It's a big old wall to be trying to bend it over.
Wednesday have brought in 7 new players, but only one of them was given a start today, and that was Delgado over on that right-hand side. Ashley Fletcher looks like a Cisco Munoz signing. He actually signed him from Middlesbrough for Watford when he was there. His last job was in charge of Amorphosis Famagusta, but he was sacked after just 13 games. His most recent success was with Watford, where he led them to promotion, but he was sacked after just 7 games of the next season. I don't think that the Sheffield Wednesday fans were overly enthused when they found out that he was replacing a manager who they'd all fallen in love with at the end of last season. I think some of them have thought that maybe sometimes Darren Moore tactically wasn't as astute as they would like, but they got 96 points last season and promoted via the playoffs. It wasn't a bad return, and he certainly was taken into their hearts after what he achieved after the playoff semi-final first leg, where they looked down and out. He brought them back from the brink. The message that he gave the fans, the tub-thumping speech in the dressing room afterwards that went viral, and all of a sudden he was out of the door. Was there a foul on halfway on Ward-Prowse, who's gone down? The referee has allowed play on. The 49th minute of the first half now. Boys on the halfway line, comes out towards the right hand side. I've got some unbelievable news for you. You're not going to believe this. Go on. But the scoreboard is right and I am wrong.
I don't believe that.
It's true.
Well, we all thought you were right.
Well, basically, as far as we understand, the goal has been given to Adam Armstrong, because Nathan Teller, as he takes the ball infield, it takes the minutest little flick off the back of Adam Armstrong, and as a result of that, he's been credited with the goal.
Well, if you think we're disappointed at being wrong, how do you think Nathan Teller will feel?
I'm no striker, but if I were Nathan Teller, I'd be saying, come on, Adam. You got to give me that. It was all about my strike.
Well, it was nothing to do with Adam Armstrong, that's for sure. It's outrageous that has happened. But anyway, I'll have to see a replay. We haven't got a monitor here, so I haven't seen a replay. But maybe it was more significant than I'm giving credit for. But that is the official line, that Adam Armstrong has been given the goal after a little flick off the back on the way to goal. Harsh. Very harsh.
I'll tell you one thing, Sam, he didn't do it on purpose, that's for sure.
That is for sure. Sheffield Wednesday have won the ball in midfield. They tried to release Gregory, but it's over-ambitious, and Bazunu is going to sweep up in front of his 18-yard box, and Southampton have got it again. We've now nearly played 6 minutes of the... In fact, we have played 6 minutes of the added time. We're waiting for the referee to blow his half-time whistle, and I think the players are too, because it's now being played at a walking pace, not much action on the halfway line. Southampton, who've had loads of possession in the first half, but have only really had a couple of goal-scoring opportunities. Here comes Teller. Down the right side though, trying to get into a crossing position. Ward-Prowse lifts it into the box. It's half cleared by Sheffield Wednesday. Delgado up towards Gregory. He gets the return, Delgado. Can he keep it away from Edozie? He can on this occasion. Turns well, runs infield, looks to try and attack the space, plays it back towards the right, and did want to keep holding the ball there, Delgado, and as a new face in this team, he gets a round of applause from the Hillsborough crowd as a result. Iofa into Bakinson, who clips it forward into Windass. A little bit of space for him to operate in. He plays it wide. Fanuo tries to get to halfway, but Teller holds him up. The ball goes out of play. Munoz is trying to get his team moving again. They go backwards instead of forward, and there's a few groans here from the Sheffield Wednesday supporters, and we are up in the top tier of the main stand, sitting literally centimetres away from Sheffield Wednesday supporters who are sitting behind us, and their frustrations are audible at the end of this first half, which is now into its 7th minute, heading towards its 8th. It's 1-0 to Southampton, the goal from Adam Armstrong.
I'm sure we're having half-time. We're not just playing through the 90 minutes.
Yeah, we might just keep going. That's might be the way it is. The big clocks have changed now. You know, they used to stop at 45 minutes. They don't now. They keep going, so everybody knows how long's been added on. It was 7 minutes in the end from Bobby Madley, and it is probably a half-time whistle that couldn't have come soon enough for Sheffield Wednesday. They have had a very good home run here over the course of the last year or so, but today they've been outplayed by Southampton. It could have been worse. It wasn't. And Southampton, who have won just 2 of their last 23 opening fixtures, are hoping that today starts the dawn of a new era. At half-time, a Nathan Teller goal, which was deflected by Adam Armstrong, separates these two teams. It's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1. I wonder if this time Friday night we would have finished the first half at Burnley against Manchester City. You never know. We're about to start the second half here. Both teams have come out to start of proceedings. I don't think any changes have been made. I did see Moussa Djenepo warming up quite vociferously at half-time. Might be an option, and maybe that would be an option, Scott, to try and add a little bit more invention to this Southampton attack.
Yeah, it seems strange, doesn't it, when we talk about the sort of domination of Southampton, and yet they haven't really created that sort of clear-cut chance. That, again, you know, there are options off the bench. I think Russell Martin will probably give it another 10 or so minutes, and if they don't really create something major, as I say, the whole time it's 1-0, Wednesday will feel they're in the game, and if Russell Martin doesn't come away with all 3 points here, we're thinking, how on earth have we not done that when we've dominated it so much?
And if you're Sheffield Wednesday, you've got to strike, haven't you? You've got to find a way of doing it, and this might be the way.
Well, Will Vaulks will launch this into the box if they're going to go and attack it. I mean, there's certainly a way of getting a goal here for Sheffield Wednesday. It's a real threat.
Will Vaulks taking a long throw from the right-hand side, propels the ball to the near post. It's flicked on towards the far post, and Alcaraz, I think it was, who actually got there ahead of Iorfa, and it eventually smuggled behind and away for a corner, the first of the game for Sheffield Wednesday.
Even if they don't get a goal, at least they're having a bit of an attack and giving the fans something. In the first half, they didn't really give them anything, so it is a much better start, even though it's only seconds old.
Keep it here. Yeah, even if they don't score, another corner. A free kick, a throw, keep it up here, keep them in their half, keep them in their box.
Minute into the second half, live on talksport, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1. The corner to be taken over on the far side by Barry Bannon, right hand in the air, a left-footed curler towards the near post, into the air by Alcaraz, who gets there first, and he gets the contact on the ball. They send it back towards the left-hand side, but they're outnumbered, and if Southampton escape here, they could be in trouble. But Patterson has got back well, and somehow won a free kick by putting his body in between ball and Alcaraz. And the free kick has gone Sheffield Wednesday's way. It wasn't the best of deliveries actually from that corner kick from Barry Bannon, which is unlike him. He's usually super precise. He had a brilliant season last season, 7 goals and 13 assists in 41 appearances. His most productive season. And we'll need him to be at his most productive best in the Championship. Swanson away.
Swansea are very aggressive at defending the corner.
Well, here was Bazunu coming out under pressure from Gregory after the ball was played back by Southampton's Jack Stevens all the way to the Irish goalkeeper. Almost encouraged a dart from Gregory, which could have unsettled Southampton. It's a better start from Sheffield Wednesday.
Yes, Alison, I said Swansea are good at defending corners, like they're very aggressive. Thinking, yes, I know I've got Russell Martin's team in my head. Southampton are, they were blocking them, they're not letting them get anywhere near to attack the corner kick. It's a better start from Sheffield Wednesday, definitely.
Reminds me of the day when I went to Everton and Sean Dyche had been put in charge, and Mikel Arteta was the first manager to visit. The Arsenal manager lost 1-0 there, and he said to me afterwards, I thought Burnley were very good. Still to this day I haven't worked out whether it was a slip of the tongue or he was being very sarcastic. 48 minutes gone. You're listening to talksport. Southampton leading by goal to nil, have the ball inside their own half. This is the first league meeting for 12 years between these two that spent much of the 80s and 90s in the top flight of English football. We did meet in the Carabao Cup last season, a game that finished 1-1 and went to penalties. Patterson puts it out on the near side. The multi-ball system being used, and Manning picks it up and tosses it in towards Alcaraz. Alcaraz, the Argentine, with his hair shaved tightly up the sides and a flick of blonde in a very 2023 style.
You won't get it now, won't you?
Yeah, there's no chance I can pull that off, mate. Not anymore. There's not enough of it there. I'm not sure it would suit my face, to be honest with you. I'm not sure it suits his. It's Stevens down the near side into Alcaraz. A little touch round the corner. Stevens takes it on and charges forward the Southampton centre half. Alcaraz picks it up, plays it wide. Teller, edge of the penalty area, in space, right footed shot, blocked by Famuo. Comes back to Carl Walker-Peters and then wider still onto James Ward-Prowse. This is a good Southampton attack. Smallbone swings it into the box, looking for Alcaraz. It's cleared away by Southampton, and then Edozie goes crashing in on Patterson, and there's going to be a free kick inside the penalty area away to our left hand side. Bobby Madley not taking any other action than a free kick.
I think Chedozie's just turned his back away from it. I think Patterson's gone out of the brave head and just headed it and then headed Chedozie. Don't think there was any nastiness from him.
Yeah. Samuel Edozie looking for his first Southampton goal. He played 17 times in the Premier League last season, mainly as a sub, but failed to score.
Well, looking at that challenge, he's not going to score with a header anytime soon, that's for sure.
It's interesting to look at the transfer policy from Southampton, though, over the last few years, Scott. I mean, I was looking at some of the players that they've signed. It's basically focused on younger players discarded by Manchester City. Bannon pinches the ball high up the field, down the left-hand side. He bounces towards the left edge of the area, produced across. There's no one in there, and it's chested back by Manning to his goalkeeper, who did very well to keep hold of it, actually. And then he bowls it out overarm towards the near side. Blimey, that was a good throw. And he's picked out Edozie. He's running down the left wing now. Iorfa's trying to stick with him, does that, and then sends it out on this near side. But it's still loose, and Edozie's picked it up, and he runs in towards the edge of the penalty area. Right on the edge of the box, deeper is Alcaraz. Edozie's kept it on, and then he's brought down by Delgado, who's got to be a little bit careful because he's already in the referee's notebook.
I think Chedozie saw the centre half come out, thought I'll get past him. He didn't realise it was Dominic Iorfa. It was a flying machine.
He was never getting past him, was he? I mean, first of all, really good play, good composure from Ryan Manning, chesting the ball back to Bazzuno. Great throw out, and maybe that's what Southampton need to do sometimes. Let Sheffield Wednesday come onto them a little bit, and then there should be some space in behind, because once they let them set, they're not able to break them down at all.
Well, wide free kick here for Southampton, left-hand side. James Ward-Prowse is going to arc it in right-footed. I think he'll drop this just to the edge of the 6-yard box. I hope that someone can attack from a little bit deeper. There is 3 big white and red shirts inside that penalty area. If you haven't seen the new Southampton kit, think Denmark 1987. About as close as you can get. It's actually a rehash of an old Southampton kit, who similarly had that in the 80s. Away on the wide left, the ball is delivered by Ward-Prowse into that 6-yard box, comes back out to Teller, who hits it backwards rather than forwards. Didn't get that at all right. His technique led him down there. As it bounced on the edge of the box, he swiped at it, and it did go behind him. Back in by Bazzuno, and Teller then chasing down into the right corner. Will Vaugks away, and it's kept in on the far side by Sheffield Wednesday, but it goes back to the left back, Famuo. He sends it long, and Southampton immediately turn it over. But then it's picked up by Vaugks in midfield. It's helped on over the halfway line. There might have been a foul there, but it's gone wide towards the left, and now Windass gets into the box, left-footed, in towards the near post, takes a cannon off the defender, and it's smuggled behind, and it goes out for another corner. The second of the game, the second of the evening, the second of the second half for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, much better in the second half from Wednesday, and I think that's what Xisco Munoz has been wanting almost from the start. That kind of, okay, we'll sit back and try and counter-attack quickly. Didn't see it at all hardly in the first half. Second half, they've done it a couple of times already and looking very dangerous.
Well, I did warn you that the referees would take action against over-eager benches, and there is a yellow card coming here for Sheffield Wednesday's assistant manager. Is that Miguel Munoz? I think it might be. Yellow card anyway, but I think it's registered to the manager anyway. I think the manager gets registered the yellow card if he can't control his bench. Did you know that, Mick? The fine comes your way.
No, I didn't. They'd all be sat down if that's the case then.
Sam just chucked in not just a yellow card, but a fine comes your way as well.
Yeah, true.
It's £6, isn't it? Ball delivered towards the far post, headed down towards the edge of the area and smashed in. Lee Gregory, it's fallen to him inside the box and he has rammed it home. 11 in 47 last season, off the mark in the Championship this. Ball in from the corner, not dealt with by Southampton. It fell down into the path of Lee Gregory, and as he was falling towards the floor, he swiveled and smashed it under the goalkeeper Bazunu, and it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is what we were talking about. 1-0 up, in complete control Southampton, and not able to get that second goal. Not really looking like they were going to get it. At 1-0, you're always in the game. It's been much better from Sheffield Wednesday in this second half. Created a couple of chances, got some corners, and again, talked about quality set pieces coming in. It's headed down. Lee Gregory, who may not have the pace or the mobility that he used to have, but he certainly still knows how to stick the ball in the back of the net. A great first foot strike, it really was. And now, listen to Hillsborough.
Yeah, Southampton, I think, came out looking a little bit arrogant about how much possession they'd had and just kept being it slow. Sheffield Wednesday have up the tempo. I think they've closed down further the pitch and they've scored from a corner. Corners, free kicks, throw-ins, it's a real way. Great goal, delighted for them as well.
Southampton were dreadful at defending set pieces last season, and they've been undone by another one here. And it's 1-1 now, and from a position where they were so superior in the game, all of a sudden the tide has just turned, and Bannon scampering forward to shut down Bazunu as he tries to clear, putting the press on and just unsettling Southampton. They get it upfield, and Southampton have it on halfway. 55 gone, live on talksport. Ward-Prowse now, back to Bednarek, and then all the way across to Jack Stevens, who wanders forward. I think probably that sort of swagger that Southampton emerged from the tunnel with in the second half was probably exemplified by the fact that Stevens went wandering through the middle of the park, playing 1-2s and trying to slalom his way up the pitch.
You know what Mick was talking about when he said, you know, how comfortable that Southampton looked, and they did have that swagger. And Sheffield Wednesday kind of sniffed that out. And second half they've started really well. They've tried to press a little bit more. And I tell you what, mentally now, again, something Mick said earlier about demoralising how mental it can be when you chase. Now they've got this goal back. You can see they've got an extra spring in their step. Suddenly, physically, they don't look tired, they don't look lethargic, they're all chasing down. It's game on.
Game on indeed. Here comes Teller down the right-hand side, moves towards the edge of the area, gets it back to Carl Walker-Peters of Southampton. Southampton on the attack now, trying to get to the edge of the box, and Teller turning and twisting in front of a group of Sheffield Wednesday fans who have sort of spilled out towards the corner flag. And then there's a few Southampton supporters that have gone running down towards the corner flag in their end. There's still quite a big separation between the two, but they're sort of engaging one another. The two sets of fans over on the far side, they're baying one another. Ball is with Teller, back to James Ward-Prowse, back to Teller again, far side, in from the touchline. James Ward-Prowse drops off, a little drop of the shoulder from Teller, a right-footed ball into the box is helped away by Vauxhall, and it's brought down by Bannon. And once again, Sheffield Wednesday look to get it clear. Dawson high upfield, going to push off the ball there. The referee didn't give anything, and Sheffield Wednesday, through Baconston, have won it back again. 1-1 the score, live on talksport, the first of our EFL commentaries of this season, a 37-week season, which will go on and on and on. That's how that'll feel like, especially for these two teams, and it will be dizzying at times, it will be brilliant at times, it will be draining, but it will always be captivating, because the Championship always is, and it culminates with the playoffs at the end of the season, which are live and exclusive to national radio right here. Ball into the box on the right side by Teller for Southampton, steered away by Sheffield Wednesday. A bit more composure about their clearance. Delgado, a brilliant ball by him into Bannon. Bannon's ball into Gregory wasn't as exquisite, but the outball from Delgado from right side of his own midfield out towards the left where Bannon was pinpoint.
Yeah, it's a collector's item from Bannon though, because he doesn't give that away too often.
True. Alcaraz into James Ward-Prowse, back to Alcaraz again. He pushes the ball out wide. Teller jinks it on his left foot. A little touch. Armstrong tried to nick that one, and then it's cleared away. Alcaraz has been crunched on the edge of the D, and he is complaining that he's really hurt here, Carlos Alcaraz. And immediately both sets of physios come running onto the pitch, and you do hope that that's not as serious as it looks for Carlos Alcaraz, because he went down holding his leg, and he put his right leg, stretched it out away from his body, and I hope that that's not as bad as it looked, because he sort of fell on top of his ankle, didn't he? It gave way underneath him.
Bakinson's complaining he's got the physios coming on as well, involved in that tackle.
Nothing untoward from either side, either party though. It's a bit of an innocuous tackle in that sense, but
that's what's more worrying, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. When that happens, then certainly from Alcaraz's point of view, he looks the one more in agony. But I'll be honest with you, I've been quite impressed with Southampton's response. It's almost like the start of the second half they haven't been good enough. It's almost been too easy. 1-1, okay, what have you got? You need to come away with all 3 points. You've just dominated the first half, and you need to find a way now to go again and get that second goal. And to be fair to them, they have attacked really well. They've played much quicker on the ball, 1-2 touch passing, and they've created a couple of chances already since the equaliser.
Yeah, there's an early one though with Teller. He got to beyond the fullback, beyond Fenwell, and he could have put it in with his right foot, and he got 3 bodies in the box, and he chose to come back. I'm thinking, stick the ball in, because who knows, you might get one of them scored, you might get it dropped down, you get a rebound, you get a shot off. I think just to create more chances, sometimes put the ball in the box.
Well, hitting the hour mark, and we will have some extended time as a result of this injury delay. The ball has gone into the middle of the park for a uncontested drop ball. A couple of players come over for a bit of instruction from Cisco Munoz and his team. And he will be thinking about making a substitution here as well. Is that Anthony Masaba who's getting ready to come on down in front of us? It might be. Alcaraz is off the pitch, and he's about to come back on again. I wonder if he'll have to stay off for 30 seconds like Bakinson on this near side. They are going to make a change. It is going to be Anthony Masaba who comes on. Pacey wide man who burst onto the scene with Nijmegen before being transferred to Monaco. 22-year-old Dutchman. Signed by Sheffield Wednesday in the last 48 hours. Alcaraz and Bakinson being held off here, because now you've had attention, you have to stay off the pitch for 30 seconds. That's the rule. Manning getting the ball for Southampton. 1-1 the score live on talksport. A game where Southampton dominated possession the early part of the match. Created not many chances. Scored through Nathan Teller's deflected effort. Adam Armstrong claiming the goal. And then from a corner, the second of the night, Sheffield Wednesday saw Lee Gregory smash them on level terms. Here's a Dozy jigging in from the left side onto his right foot, gets that all wrong and sends it into the Southampton fans behind the goal away to our left.
He looks a real threat. You know, he goes to go on the outside on his left foot, comes in on his right foot. He looks a threat. There's been nothing from him yet. That is really disappointing, that shot. I think when he gets that chance, he's got to hit the target.
Well, he's not a goal machine, not at Premier League level anyway. We'll see what happens in the Championship, but he's yet to score for Southampton yet. Here's Volks, out to the near side for Sheffield Wednesday. Delgado, it looks a sensible acquisition at this moment in time. There's a bit of space for Windass to run into. It does go through the Bazunu though, all the way back to the Irish goalkeeper, who did get dropped towards the end of last season. Faced a bit of criticism. Ruben Sellers took him out of the firing line, brought Alex McCarthy back. He's a goalkeeper of some promise.
It's a lonely position at the best of times, Sam. And when you're conceding and you're losing games left, right and centre, then it can be heartbreaking, I'm sure, confidence-wise. So take him out a little bit. I'm sure this season will do well for him.
Teller onto his left foot again, coming in on that right-hand side. This time he balloons the ball over the top of the crossbar.
It's exactly the same what Edozie did the other side, isn't it? Come inside. Whereas Edozie's on his right foot, you should definitely be hitting the target.
He didn't have Armstrong who hit it.
No, that was it.
Off his time.
There was no movement, was there?
That day at Wembley, so memorable for Sheffield Wednesday. The sun shining, over 45,000 hours, dappling the stadium in blue and white. It was the moment you thought the club were on the up. The Wednesday Party Company with Darren Moore just 21 days after promotion was secured. They hadn't been out of the top three since October. And his views on how to move the club forward didn't align with the chairman's. He wanted a pay rise, he wasn't going to get it. The coaches that he had with him, he wanted to look after. That didn't happen either. And as a result, they brought in Xisco Munoz. There was a long period without a manager, which sort of demoralised the Wednesday fans as well. They turned up here tonight not really knowing what to expect. They have just won a free kick. I think it was Nathan Teller who was booked, was he, by the referee as a result of that. It's into the box once again. It's aimed towards Baconson. It's cleared by Southampton and then smothered out to the left side where it will go out for a throw.
I'm pretty sure as well at Wembley, Jim White was told by the owner, Chansiri, that they were going to go for it next season once they got promotion.
Yeah.
That's not quite happened, is it?
He says a lot though, doesn't he, that fella? I mean, he did a press conference when he unveiled his manager and spent 6 minutes talking about Carlton Palmer. True story.
Yeah, still not forgiving him for getting shut down and after getting him promoted, to be honest. Pile of nonsense, that.
1-1 the score. talksport, 65 minutes on the clock. And Sheffield Wednesday got themselves back into the game, but can they hold on to it? Can they keep it at 1-1? Can they go and progress up the pitch and try and nick all 3 points on the opening night of the season? Southampton never win on the opening night of the season, and they've gifted Sheffield Wednesday away back in the game. Can they carve another attack here? Teller on the right hand side tries to get to the edge of the 18-yard box. He weaves towards Famewo and then goes back the other way, leaves it for Smallburn. Smallburn comes back in field and goes all the way back to halfway, and they'll be satisfied with that.
Is it 10 years, Sam? 10 years since they've won a game on the opening day of the season?
Yep, 10 years since they won a game on the opening day of the season. They've won 2 of the last 23 on the opening day of the campaign. Yeah, it's not a great habit to get into, is it? Because it sort of sets the tone for your season.
Yeah, I mean, they had so dominant in the first half, but without having loads of chances. But that domination of possession should create them more chances. And in the goal they got was a deflection now, we saw it wasn't as good as we thought it was.
You can't take that away from them, surely.
That was brilliant from Adam Armstrong.
That's what we'll all be saying now when we review it after we saw the third replay and then no system Nick. Here is Armstrong down the left-hand side. Picked up by Manning. Manning delivers the ball to the far post, and Teller got up really well, but so did Hiwekwe, and it goes out on the far side, and it's collected by Carl Walker-Peters, who gets to the byline now. He skips away from one challenge, keeps it in, turns inside the penalty area, tries to play it through the 6-yard box. It takes a deflection, goes behind, it's out for a corner. Well, they thought it was already out, Sheffield Wednesday, but Carl Walker-Peters didn't give up the chase, and he was right not to.
Yeah, well, we haven't got the best view of it from here. We can see it on the replay here now in front of us. No, we can't.
Ball into the box. Alcaraz fights for it. Comes back out to Edozie. Edozie clips the ball into the penalty area. Dawson will come and claim. From what I saw of that replay, it looked to me like it was in play.
It did look that way, yeah. Well, you couldn't clearly see that it was out anyway.
No VAR anyway.
I tell you what, we've got to give Sheffield Wednesday huge credit. He set up not going chasing, and we're all thinking, oh, it's difficult. The fans are getting bored. The fans are getting anxious, and yet they've held it to that 1-0. And at half time, they've come out and played much better. But Southampton can't score against them. They find it very difficult.
Change up top for Sheffield Wednesday. Lee Gregory coming off, and on comes Anthony Musaba. Signed on a 4-year contract from Monaco. Welcome to Hillsborough. Welcome to the Championship. Bit of breaking news for you in the last few minutes. Wolfsburg defender Nicky van der Veen will undergo a medical at Tottenham this weekend. TalkSport understands Spurs are set to pay around £40 million for the centre-back. And they need defenders, don't they, Scott?
They certainly do. I mean, that's a lot of money though, isn't it?
It's a lot of money, but they need to improve that defence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So
they got a big windfall coming, I suppose. That's the big question.
Well, I'm sure, and that's what I mean. You know, if we're a central defender, that's a lot of money. But if you're getting 80, 90, 100 million pounds in very soon,
well, how would they generate that sort of cash, Scott? Here is Dawson clearing it away.
He's getting a bit tiresome, that decision, isn't it?
Even for Harry Kane,
let's get on with it. Yeah.
He's called the transfer window early, isn't he? At the start of the season, not by the end of the window.
I think if he was staying, I think he'd have said something. He just said, "I'll tell you what, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm staying."
Keeping his options open, Mick. You know what it's like.
No, he's waiting, isn't he, for Bayern to raise it, and he's saying, look, enough between you two. If it's not done by the start of the season, I'm staying.
Well, apparently Bayern said it has to be done by midnight tonight. So that gives us an hour and a half if we're going by their clock, and if we're going by ours, we've got 2.5.
Didn't work for West Ham with James Ward-Prowse, did it?
And he's out of contract at the end of the year, they get nothing. Wow.
We'll see what happens. We'll follow it here on talksport throughout the course of the weekend. Of course, you know, if anything happens, you'll hear it first on talksport, as you'll hear all the goals as they go in tomorrow with Adrian as well. Doing a show from Watford Queen's Park Rangers tomorrow. The ball is with Southampton. 1-1 the score. First to blink have been Sheffield Wednesday with their change up top. Edozie getting round the outside of Patterson to the byline. Into the ball box it goes. It goes right past James Ward-Prowse, who came firing in. It misses him and goes out the other side. Walker-Peters slices up a shot. Left-footed, drives it towards the near post. But he very much looked like a player that hasn't scored since August.
But how good was that? They got the ball wide. He took the first touch. He went down the wing. Got to the byline, a dangerous cross come in, and they created a chance. That's what they've got to do more of, rather than just kind of passing down the middle. Right. Get the ball out wide as quickly as possible, and if the wingers can actually get a one-on-one situation with the full-backs, they can have the better of them. As it happens, what I will say is Akinfenwa's done really well against Nathan Teller when there's been one-on-one situations, but Edozie, as ineffective he can be with that final ball, he does look dangerous at times, and he looked dangerous there.
Well, he stopped going on the inside and shooting with his right foot. Just get past him and stick some crosses in the box, which was brilliant that he did.
Ball sent long out towards this right-hand side by Cameron Dawson, the goalkeeper for Sheffield Wednesday, in an attempt to drag them up the pitch and get the danger away from their goal. Smallbone takes it on. Was on loan at Stoke last season. Played the most minutes in pre-season of any Saints player. It looks like he will move into that central midfield position that James Ward-Prowse has occupied over the course of many a season. If Ward-Prowse ends up moving on, Ward-Prowse might think, you know, I quite like playing in this team, having lots of possession, getting lots of set pieces, being challenging for a title possibly, but then I think they probably start thinking about the European Championships.
Well, exactly, European Championships and possible wages being quadrupled or whatever it could be.
I've got to say, I love your optimism for the Southampton fans. So it's not going to happen.
Here is Stevens tugging the ball into the path of Alcaraz, who helps it onto Ward-Prowse, who pokes it behind Armstrong. Patterson will get there on the edge of the penalty area. He launches it long, taken down by Musaba, who runs past Smallbone, outpowers him, gets to the edge of the penalty area, and then Bednarak had to time that challenge perfectly, went sliding in, got the ball and stopped Musaba in his tracks, but that just generated a frisson of electricity as he picked up the ball, Musaba, and went charging towards the spy-on cop away to our right-hand side.
Do you know what, yeah, two things there, spot on with Bednarak, had to time that perfectly, didn't he? But that did lift the crowd there, getting in behind from Musaba. That's what they want to see him do a lot more.
At the other end, Southampton have taken the ball up to within a couple of inches of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Edozie comes in field, too predictable though, and Delgado and Patterson have dealt with that, and they've brought it clear. Up on the right side, right by the touch line, Edozie's got frustrated, and then he's been brought down, and as a result of that, there is a opportunity maybe to make a change for Southampton, and I think we're going to bring on Stuart Armstrong and replace Carlos Alcaraz, who did pick up an injury a little while ago. Alcaraz being taken off, he doesn't look happy about it, but Stuart Armstrong, who picked up a knock and missed the AZ Alkmaar game, or the RZ game in midweek, the friendly, comes on in his place. Sheffield United, I think, are preparing, Sheffield Wednesday are preparing a double substitution. Liam Palmer, I can see, is stripped and ready for action down there. And I think I might bring on Ashley Fletcher for a debut as well. And I can't quite see if that's him sitting down there getting ready for action. 1-1, 17 minutes to go. Would you gamble now, Mick?
Sheffield Wednesday or to either team?
Would you add on another forward if you were Sheffield Wednesday?
No, I wouldn't. I think they're doing all right. They're doing as they are. They might just open themselves up. They're getting their chances playing the way they are. I think if I'm Southampton, I want to do something there. We're talking about Chidoza when he gets past. If he's putting crosses in, he's got to have people running across the near post, far post, centre of the goal as well. But I'd be looking at that. Certainly, Stuart Armstrong's come on.
Armstrong feeding Edozie down the left corridor, pulls it back, comes to James Ward-Prowse, flicked up, hit the defender, and it's cleared away. It was just a bit behind him and he couldn't pull the trigger. But that was Armstrong feeding Edozie down this left-hand side, and it opened up the Sheffield Wednesday defence. Edozie's ball wasn't bad this time, but it couldn't be converted.
No, it wasn't a bad ball, and it was a good run off the ball and a really good pass from Armstrong, who's got the capability of doing that. But again, they've gone wider than the 18-yard box, and that's what they need to do. Wednesday want to try and keep the pitch really, really small. Southampton have to make it as big as possible. And Mick's absolutely right. There's no need for Wednesday to try and go for this game. But look, last season their home form was brilliant, but they were in League One. They're up against a team that was in the Premier League last season. And what happened in the first half, if they get a point out of this is very much a point gained to drop for Southampton.
Ball sent out towards the right-hand side. Again, here comes Southampton. They're building up an attack on the edge of the penalty area. It's Carl Walker-Peters to Stevens to Manning, and then on the edge of the area, Armstrong trying to jink his way into the box. He gets it onto his left foot. He needs Edozie to make a run. He did. It was well read by Patterson. Edozie couldn't get on the end of it as a result, and they smuggle it up towards the halfway line. Musaba is being tracked by Smallbone. Can't get the better of him, and Southampton turn it over.
I think Asaba's given him some optimism because he can run in behind. He's got legs. Just the fact that run that he made, I think, has given all the crowd, everybody, a bit of optimism. They can play this way and still do them on the break.
There was no option, was there, for Wednesday in behind up until Musaba coming on. Lee Gregory obviously scored the goal, great strike, but in open play, for a defender's point of view, when you know someone can run in behind, you have to drop off.
Yeah, look at him. We're leaving 1v1. The Sabres now standing up against the centre half. If they do get it, he's got a chance of breaking on it.
Well, Patterson's just picks it up in the right fullback position, and his immediate action is to send it long and look for Musaba to chase. And Benarek is joined by Stevens on this occasion. They just about keep hold of the ball. They are going to bring on Liam Palmer and Ashley Fletcher here, Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, sorry, Sam, I don't know how many of those lung-busting runs he's got, though. Musaba, he's done one or two of them, and he's jogging around now.
He's a very tall, powerful man, big broad shoulders, looks as if he has got some speed about him as well from what we've seen in the opening few minutes of his Sheffield Wednesday career.
Yeah, he has only just come off the bench.
Armstrong shooting from distance and diving towards his left. Dawson wasn't too sure about where that was going to go. It was from 30 yards or so, and there was a bit too much space for Stuart Armstrong, and he hit it right-footed towards the far corner, and it wasn't too far away.
He's made an impact already, Stuart Armstrong, hasn't he? One with a little pass inside for Edozie and a shot there as well. That's something that Southampton need to do. Create a little bit more, look more dangerous in that final third.
So here's a change. Juan Delgado's done brilliantly, I think, since the start of the game. Good debut for him. Switches for Ashley Fletcher, who goes up top when Musaba, I think, might come out towards this right-hand side. Liam Palmer coming on to replace Will Volks, and he'll go into the centre of midfield. So it's still a 4-4-2 sort of, a bit of a hybrid, maybe. I might suggest it might be a 3 now, actually, with Fletcher and Windass and Musaba up top, and then Bannon dropping into the midfield with Palmer and Baconson. It's probably more likely, isn't it? How does that feel for Sheffield Wednesday?
They've certainly got a more physical centre forward up there, and they look to me like they've got Amado out here. Musaba, they brought him out wide right, and that may be to be up against Ryan Manning, who does get forward and lead it. He'll be able to run in all that space.
Yellow card for Cameron Dawson for taking too much time over his goal kick. So we've now had, what, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow cards. That's definitely above average, isn't it?
It is, and yeah, by the way, there's not been a bad tackle in the game.
No.
There's not been any nastiness, no physical violence, nothing.
Durham's eyes have just gone rolling into the back of his head. He's not happy about it.
I love the way Mick just said no physical violence.
Because, that's what a yellow card is for, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Ball out of play on this near side. It's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 1, live on talksport. And we are deep into the second half, just 12 minutes to go. The equaliser from Lee Gregory coming 10 minutes after half-time after Nathan Teller's deflected effort from Adam Armstrong had put Southampton into the lead very early in the game. They weren't able to capitalise on that, and now, well, it's a 10-minute game really, isn't it? Or with added time, probably 15-minute game. And another change up front, and off comes Adam Armstrong, and on comes Che Adams. Che Adams, who has a good record against Sheffield Wednesday. He has scored on his last 2 appearances against them, both for Birmingham City. He did struggle in the Premier League, 1 goal in his last 14 Premier League appearances, but at Championship level he could be a threat, Scott.
I'm surprised he hasn't come on earlier, to be honest with you. Apart from that wonder flick from Alan Armstrong scoring the goal, he hasn't done a great deal, and I just think Che Adams does add a lot. I saw him a lot in the Championship, and I tell you what, when he's on form at this level, he's very difficult to play against.
I think he likes space to run in behind though, doesn't he? I'm not sure they'll like it just sitting back, and how Sheffield Wednesday have played. I don't think he's that technical where he can play through.
He's a threat in the air as well.
Armstrong and Dozy, back to Armstrong again. Stuart Armstrong's effort goes straight into the arms of Dawson, but he's added an injection of dynamism into that midfield. Stuart Armstrong, he's been breaking the lines and playing 1-2s with the Dozy to get into the box. And some good patterns of play down this left-hand side. They've looked more productive since he's come on.
2 attempts at goal, hasn't it?
Yeah, and a little pass inside for Dozy. Urgency has been the word. When he's got the ball, he's looked up and he's played quicker. Whereas before, it was all just a bit too easy-ozy, especially in the first half.
Whatever happens here tonight, Southampton will hope for a more settled and stable season than their last campaign. One that started with Ralph Hasenhüttl in the dugout, ended with Ruben Selles as manager, and included Nathan Jones' ill-fated spell in between that. Stevens gets out muscled. Windass picks it up, couldn't pass it beyond Smallbone, who did well to protect his defence. And Southampton win it back inside their own territory once again. There was a bit of a battle going on just prior to that. They are a team that have forgotten how to win, Southampton. They finished the season without a victory in 13 matches. If they could get one tonight, it would be a rare source of positivity for the Southampton fans. Manning floats it forward. It's away by the left back, Famuwo. Up over halfway line, Bannon chasing after it. Bednarak going to keep it in. He sends it back to his goalkeeper. Bannon still chasing the goalie who's come out of his box. And then they pass their way past Bannon and Ashley Fletcher, and Stevens strides forward for Southampton. 1-1 the score. Here is James Ward-Prowse, bit of space for him. Teller peels away to the right hand side, a low ball into the box. It's behind Che Adams, and it's cleared away by Baconson and out on the far side and away for a throw to Southampton.
That was really good play in a typical Russell Marshall side there, playing out from the back, creating the space, then playing quickly. And again, Nathan Teller, we talked about Sheffield Wednesday in the first half not having that quality in the final third and that final ball. He hasn't really had that in the second half.
28,588 are in here tonight, and as the PA announcer said, rather with tongue firmly etched into cheek, the biggest in the league this season. Here is Carl Walker-Peters dancing into the box. A right-footed ball which is blocked by the defender Ihekwe, and it goes out on the far side, and it's away for another corner of Southampton. Mick McCarthy.
Just Scott's point there about Nathan Teller. He's had a lot of the ball, and I thought he'd have been. Of course, he didn't even get the goal, and it's been disappointing this second half. He's found the ball.
Ward-Prowse's delivery into the woods of the near post, headed away, comes back out to the edge of the area. Teller sends it back wide towards the right. Ward-Prowse delivers a pinpoint crossing towards Stevens, who heads it into the air, got clattered from behind. The ball drops inside the box, and the referee is just going to stop proceedings while there's a head injury. And Dawson's got hold of it anyway, so it will be a Sheffield Wednesday ball, but Stevens just getting a little bit of treatment.
It was a clash of heads, I think, wasn't it?
Nothing more than that. James Ward-Prowse just getting an energy gel from this near side, and Dozy picking one of those up as well, and Manning. As we get to the latter stage of the game, pre-season training has kicked in. All those hard yards that they have to do. How many hard yards do you do in pre-season now, Nick? Or is it all full work nowadays?
Lots of hard yards. Yeah, the players come back fitter though. Far fitter than we would ever have done, that's for sure. We used to get 6-7 weeks off and maybe do a couple of runs and then come back and let them get you fit, which was ridiculous. But the players now have programs, they have their own physical fitness coaches, they go away to different camps and get fit. Man, the money that's involved, Sam, I think you would as well, wouldn't you, to be quite honest?
Yeah. Listen, over on this near side, Jack Stevens has dragged down Ashley Fletcher and given away a free kick and a wide area on the right hand side, and it's another yellow card.
But there's still the fines if they come back overweight, or they just don't come back overweight anymore.
You'd have had to have delayed those trips to Ibiza, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd have gone back. I still went to Ibiza, I just went a lot earlier.
You went this year as well, if I remember rightly.
I did.
6 or 7 times.
I'll get you out there.
We keep saying it. Free kick down by the corner flag. Barry Bannon to take it. He's got 6 or 7 to aim at in front of the spy on Cop away to our right hand side. The noise levels have been turned up because we're in the 85th minute of the game. It's 1-1 on talksport in the Championship. Bannon left-footed, drills it in towards the near post. Not a great delivery away by Ward-Prowse, but back down the right for Bannon. Maybe he'll get a second chance at it now. Plays it to Patterson. Patterson hooks the cross, takes a deflection in towards the near post. It's away by Stevens and then prodded out to this near side, and then Palmer's ball forward was aimless really, and he goes out for a goal kick away to our right hand side, and that was all a little bit disappointing.
Do you know what, I was just about to say this has been so much better from Sheffield Wednesday in the second half. We talked about the sort of lack of mobility, but they pressed a lot better because they've been cleverer when they've done it, and they've done it together as in a pack. But just there, all you needed to do, Liam Palmer, just think it into the corner and keep the pressure on Southampton, and in the end they've just given the ball back.
Rhys James is coming on for Sheffield Wednesday to replace Josh Windass. Windass, who was the hero of the Wembley experience, 250th appearance tonight in English football. Here comes off, and Rhys James, his only goal for Wednesday was in that 5-1 second leg playoff win over Peterborough to put them 3-0 up.
All our heads turned towards Adrian there, didn't they?
I won't tell you what he did.
And he smiled at us.
There might be children listening.
There was almost physical violence there.
Yellow card. 1-1 the score with a few minutes to go, live on talksport in the Championship. Next up for Southampton, a trip to Gillingham in the League Cup, live on talksport 2. Plymouth, QPR, Sunderland, Leicester await over the next few weeks for a team that have been used to going to Manchester United, City and Arsenal recently. Here is James Ward-Prowse in the penalty area, sets it back for Shay Adams, who swivels on the edge of the 6-yard box and fires Southampton into the lead with just 4 minutes to go. Once again, he punishes Sheffield Wednesday. He continues his great scoring record against them. And Southampton, with a well-crafted move, down the right, the ball was passed into space in the right corridor for James Ward-Prowse. His low ball pulled back towards Shay Adams, and a one-touch finish from the Scottish international has put Southampton back in front. They lead by 2-1.
It was a great passing behind him, wasn't it? And he just right place at the right time. The passing behind opened them up. He's put the cross in, and Shay Adams got across them. It's a fabulous run into the box. Devastating for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, great run into the box, wasn't it? And again, that's the midfielders just getting in behind, doing that third man run. Sheffield Wednesday looking tired there, weren't they? And Southampton have kind of stepped it up. I talked about Shay Adams, about how he can be a real threat, especially at this level. He's very clever. He just held his run as the defender dropped back. That gave him the extra yard. And he just knew that all he had to do was swivel, turn, take it first time and make sure it's on target.
Into the box, Sheffield Wednesday looking to respond with Musaba, who's full of electricity and setting the place alight every time he picks up the ball, but they need a goal now, Sheffield Wednesday, otherwise they're going to lose on the opening night of the season. Back wide it goes to Fletcher. His ball into the box is a little bit hefty. It goes through the box and out the other side, and it's seen out of play by Nathan Teller. I think it was Carl Walker-Peters who played that ball down the right-hand side in towards James Ward-Prowse. It just had the perfect weight on it.
Fabulous ball, fabulous run. I mean, the goal, if you set that up in training, that's what you want to do. It's coming. Chidozie comes on the inside, gives it to Ward-Peters. He slides him in, and he cuts it back for Che Adams. I mean, it's a fabulous goal.
It's all about the run, though, Sam. You know, it was a good ball and well paced by Carl Walker-Peters. But if James Ward-Prowse hadn't have made that run, then that's the thing that opened Wednesday up completely and made the Wednesday defenders drop, which where Che Adams stood still and they just struck it first time, hit the target.
Joe Aribo coming on for Samuel Edozie for the final few seconds of the game, or the final few seconds of normal time. We will have a bit of added time at the end of the 90. 2-1 the score, live on talksport tonight. We'll take your calls on this game straight afterwards. 03717 2233 44. Sports Bar Weekend are open for business. Tomorrow morning, by the way, when you wake up, maybe if you've lied in a little bit, and no Graham Norton on Virgin Radio, Nick Grimshaw is filling in for him tomorrow morning. So if you want to listen to Grimmy on the radio, Virgin Radio app is available to download and you can listen to that. Graham Norton will be back in a couple of weeks' time. 9:30 every weekend on Virgin Radio.
Patterson, he has a good throw. They fill the box with all the big lads.
Sheffield Wednesday on the attack. Patterson wipes the ball against the microphone and then launches it high into the air. The flick on comes down to Bannon. Bannon sends it back wide right. Patterson with a cross this time into the area. Fletcher went towards it. Comes to Bannon, left-footed strike. And it took a deflection on the way through. It will be a corner to Sheffield Wednesday in the 89th minute of the game.
It will be interesting to see how many minutes Sheffield's assistant will put up. I think they'll still have plenty of time to get this equaliser, but I find it difficult to break the Southampton side down. Again, set piece, so important.
The last time Sheffield Wednesday were beaten here at Hillsborough in the league was back in September of last year. There will be 9 minutes of added time. Don't say you weren't warned. It's in towards the penalty area. It drops down inside the box, and it's helped into the air by Musaba. Elf was in there as well. It's prodded towards goal. Was there a foul there inside the box? Elf thinks there was.
They're not appealing too much, are they? They're all just running back now.
Carl Walker-Peters picks the ball up and comes forward for Southampton and gets over the halfway line. So there'll be 9 added minutes at the end of the 90. It means by the time we finish here tonight, it will go well past 10 o'clock. Foul over on the far side on Smallboat. And it's going to be a free kick just in from the touchline. Well, lots of live football this weekend. So much of it. The Championship, League 1 and 2 starting tomorrow. All the goals they go in with Adrian. 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Live from Vicarage Road. Queen's Park Rangers, who many people think are going to end up perishing in the Championship next season, trying to buck the trend a little bit. Haven't spent too much money. Under Gareth Ainsworth taking on Watford, who've got a new manager. It's the first game in charge tomorrow. Who would have seen that coming? And that's 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then on Sunday, 4 live commentaries, 3 from the Championship, 1 the Community Shield. That kicks off at 4 o'clock tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, sorry. That's live on Talk Sport. Might have been a handball by Armstrong. It's dug out and cleared away by Palmer, but Stevens has got it for Southampton, just in front of the halfway line. This is a game that Southampton have bossed. They've had very few chances, but they've created 2 good goals. A good finish by Teller, which was deflected by Armstrong, and then a brilliantly crafted goal, which Che Adams finished off. And got his Championship season off to a flyer. Are Southampton going to get all 3 points? Well, it's edging that way. The Saints go marching on. That's the cry from the Southampton fans, and they've done very well to bring so many of them up from Southampton for the start of the season. A brilliant turnout by the Saints supporters.
Sheffield Wednesday, they've just got to try and get the ball and get it up the pitch and see if they can get a free kick or a corner or something. I just don't see. Southampton will keep the ball now. They'll keep going back to the centre backs, they'll go back to the keeper, they'll keep it until maybe somebody can get a pass, as they've already done. I would say Armstrong's made a big difference from coming on in the second half.
Well, Southampton at the moment have possession of the ball, and while they have care of it, they will keep Sheffield Wednesday chasing. And whilst it's in the Sheffield Wednesday half, there's no danger to Gavin Bazzuno away to our right hand side. Manning into Bednarak. They're keeping the ball on the halfway line well here, Southampton. They're not forcing the issue. They know they don't have to keep going forward. There's 6 minutes of added time to play. Manning, Stevens, Ward-Prowse and Bednarak just happy to play a little square on the halfway line, Scott.
Sheffield Wednesday have to push on. They have to. You know, Southampton will do this all night long until the referee blows the whistle. So they have to just push on. Centre halves need to say, okay, if I have to go 1-on-1 here, so be it. We've got minutes left now. I genuinely thought Wednesday were going to get a draw out of this. It was a really well-worked goal from Southampton, and now it's down to Wednesday to try and get the ball back. And as Mick says, just find a way to get a set piece or get the ball into the box and create some kind of confusion. Can't get anywhere near the ball at the moment because they're just dropping off into that shape. Too late for that now.
Yeah, Southampton don't need to go forward. They've won the game if they keep the ball here. They'll just keep going back, keep it here. And at some stage, you know, if you get beat 3-1 by having a go, if you go and try to go and chase it, but you might just nick it. You might just get something off them. There we go.
Well, they have nicked it now. And Patterson goes forward, runs into Carl Walker-Peters, wants a free kick, doesn't get one. So Southampton wrestle possession back very quickly. Their ball recovery time has been exquisite, hasn't it? Southampton's over the course of the game. And they'll roll into their next game with full of confidence. They play Norwich City as their next game in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday have got to play Stockport here in the League Cup next week, then go away to Hull. They've got Preston and Cardiff shortly after that. They might feel they could get off to a good start to the season, but this is not the start they wanted. Defeat at home on the opening day of the season. The first time they've been defeated since last September in the league here. Ball played wide, out towards the right-hand side, and picked up by Joe Aribo, formerly of Rangers. Plays it infield to Carl Walker-Peters, and Southampton just manipulating the ball so well, calm and composed on it.
I mean, in this sense, this is the worst team to be playing against, Southampton, you know, who know how to keep the ball. Really good ball possession. There's minutes to go. You're 1-0 down or 1 goal down. They have to try and chase it. They're not going as a pack. They're just going individually now.
You say that, Scott, but I mean, they weren't as good at keeping possession this time last year, were they, Southampton? And this is something that Russell Martin has instilled in them over the course of the summer.
Yeah, but you're also talking about a massive drop in terms of quality. You know, they're up against the Premier League teams. Now it's Sheffield Wednesday who, let's be fair, were in League One last season and could still be argued they're probably a top League One side at the moment. They haven't made a lot of signings, or at the moment doesn't look as if they're going to be anything more than just trying to survive in this division. You know, with and without the ball, Sheffield Wednesday, they're not getting anywhere near Southampton.
So if they go and chase it though, if they do get beat 3-2, they're still getting beat. But if they go and chase it, they may well just nick it and get a free kick. They might be able to load the box. They might be able to keep it in. Just get something and make Southampton defend. At the minute, it's almost embarrassing now the amount of time they've kept the ball.
Yeah, they've kept the ball for so long, and now they eventually have broken over the halfway line. Aribo comes forward and then plays it backward in the 96th minute. I think Southampton have had the ball for pretty much every second bar one of the last 7 minutes. And they've just kept Sheffield Wednesday on a piece of string. And now Adams spins in behind, tries to get on the end of a James Ward-Prowse ball that goes into the arms of Dawson, and they will clear it upfield, and they're being encouraged to get moving and get on their bikes and start charging forward, and he's going to hit it long. And he does, into the night sky, disappears momentarily in the floodlights, and then drops on the head of Jack Stevens. Bannon tries to get it under control. He wrestles with Ward-Prowse. The ball breaks in Southampton's favour. Aribo skips past the challenge. Baconson, a little flick out of his right boot, gives away the free kick. It's going to be a free kick just short of the halfway line.
Sam, they've got to win the second ball. If he kicks it like that, and then Barry Bannon must be absolutely shattered. But when he comes to him, he's got to get hold of that and keep it. I said, get a foul, get a free kick off somebody, keep the ball, get it wide, put a ball in the box. They just lost the second ball.
This is going to be a novel experience for Southampton. They only won 3 of their 23 matches after the World Cup. Ended up being relegated from the Premier League, but they've rebuilt. There's been a restructuring. Jason Wilcox, the new sporting director, new manager, and Russell Martin will approach They're still recruiting in the same way under Sport Republic, their owners that took over them 18 months ago. The new chief executive as well, Martin Semmens, who was for a long time in control of the day-to-day running of proceedings at St Mary's. He moved on in the summer. It's a new regime. Didn't get off to the brightest of starts, that must be said, but this is a good way to start repairing the damage.
Sam, a lot of what they've done here this evening has been excellent, by the way they've kept the ball, and certainly now they've got 2-1 in front, and they conceded from a corner, which anybody can do, but you said last year they were one of the worst teams. They've got to stop that. They've got to be better at that. But keeping the ball, outstanding.
They're a fantastic passing side, as you expect from Russell Martin, and they've been superb since that 2-1. But it did take that bit of brilliance to actually get there, because Wednesday looked comfortable up until that point, and I think in the second half Wednesday will count themselves unlucky, but haven't got anywhere near Southampton since the goal, and certainly since the injury time's come in. They've been brilliant.
Yep, they're keeping the ball again. It's a game of keep ball for Southampton over on the far side. Does make you think though, that moment of genius, that run in behind by James Ward-Prowse, what happens when he leaves the club, if he leaves the club, which I think we all expect him to do. Will he still be here this time next week when they're preparing to go to Carrow Road? That's a back pass to Bazunu, which is a little bit hefty, but before Bazunu can get it under control, and he didn't get it under perfect control, and Bannon to shut him down, the referee blows the full-time whistle and calls a halt to proceedings. High fives amongst the Southampton analysts and the staff on the bench, and a few hugs on the field of play. Barry Bannon drops to his knees. He is screen cracking after working his backside off, but victory is Southampton's. They win on the opening day for the first time in 10 years thanks to a goal from Shea Adams created by James Ward-Prowse. It's the perfect start to the Russell Martin era and maybe the start of a bright season. Sheffield Wednesday knew this season would be about trying to stabilise in the league. It might end up being just as tough as they thought it might be. But it's a night for Saints to celebrate, sitting above everyone at the top of the championship table. Well, for a night at least. It finishes Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 2.